How's it going? It is the Get Loud podcast. Fred Smoot, Michael Jenkins, presented by SeatGeek. You're ready to get loud.
Yes, W's. That's all I care about. W's. That's all I care about.
And we got them in spades over the weekend. It's a Victory Monday, Smoot.
It's always good on a Victory Monday.
Mm-hmm.
It's very relaxing, and it feels like you accomplished something. Even though I'm not on the field playing, I feel like I won to.
Well, you did win a little bit.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I
because
did.
you were talking about what was going to happen in this game. And look, it wasn't the easiest game to watch at times, but as you know, as every NFL head coach will tell you, you take a dub however you can get it.
Like the NFL is hard to win. Like I always tell people, it's 32 teams out there full of pros. Right? And I think the fan base thought we were just gonna show up and blow this team out because. All right, here you go. The front office of the Arizona Cardinals are tanking.
Yes.
The players didn't get that memo. All right, because at the end of the day, we are independent contractors. I can't afford to go out here and put some bad film out here because you want Caleb Williams.
Right.
So the rest of the team did not get that memo, and that's why they played so sharp.
And I have to say, I fell into that trap. I said the Cardinals stink.
Yeah.
I was betting on the Commanders.
Yeah, you should have said the Giants stinks. That's what you should have
They stink. Now, they stink. I mean, that was ugly.
Yeah, it was.
It was really ugly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for just a second before we get back into this game because it's always nice when you win and then you watch
other teams.
Even though I know nobody likes the Cowboys, but at least someone got to beat down.
Fall in misery.
Yeah.
All
Yes.
right, fall in misery. Plus, Philadelphia didn't look as
Little
good
shaky.
as we thought. But that's what you do in the first couple of weeks. You try to find your identity and find yourself. So I never get too high over the first week and never get too low.
It's never easy, and also defense travels. Defense usually is ahead of the offense this time of year.
Always.
So we'll get into Sam Howell in a second, but when you talk about this Washington D, particularly late in this game, I mean, your guy Montez Sweat, my God.
Listen, FedEx Field, that house, need to put a beware dog sign out there. Beware dogs, because we got a couple of them. Forbes, Sweat, changed the game. If it wasn't for the University of Mississippi State, we lose that game yesterday.
Yeah.
Because Sweat was a one-man wrecking machine yesterday. And to end it, Forbes knocks the ball down and sends us home on a good note. But listen, Montez Sweat is on a one-man pay-me tour.
Yep.
All right. At the end of the day, I think this is just the beginning for him.
Yeah.
Because last year he was 3 inches away from 17 sacks last year.
Yeah.
Posted one of the highest PFF grades. He is there. The game has slowed down for him, and now he becomes who he really gonna become. He can only get better from here.
You know what I love is if you knew nothing about these two teams, and I said, watch this game, tell me which guy you think is in a contract year.
Yeah.
You'd have been like, that guy right there.
Number 90. He's most definitely in the
guy.
contract year. And that's the thing about it. Like, it get a little stressful in contract years because you're like, all right, the first thing I can't do is get hurt. All right, the second thing I have to do is put good film out here every game. So you become studious of yourself. You become your biggest enemy almost. All right, so it has to be this level where you can get some zen and also play your game, but understand what's behind you, know?
And I love, too, that at the end of this game, when the crowd was getting really back into it, the D was playing so well, the D just kind of
smothered them.
They just smothered them, and the Cardinals were just worn out.
No. They had made it to the point, and the fans took a toll on them.
They sure did.
Listen, it's hard with 70,000 fans bearing down on you. And I saw Josh Dobbs couldn't hear. On some third down, he just could not hear. That's how you weaponize a crowd. Like, that's how a crowd is supposed to be. It felt like a college atmosphere in FedEx. It was, and then not just the people there, not just them being loud. It was just good energy. It was just good energy all over there. And it's been a while since we felt that.
And at the end of the show, we're going to talk about all the celebs that were there before the game.
It was a lot
of people.
It was packed.
I know you talked to most of those guys. You've experienced with most of those guys. So we're going to get into that because the atmosphere was pretty incredible. Let's talk about the offense.
Yeah.
And Sam Howell, I think, is a guy that, and we all know this, it's just that he has a ton of potential.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be very good. We also forget, this was his second start in the history. He has one more start than C.J. Stroud. One more start than Bryce Young. One more start than Anthony Richardson. So let's keep that in perspective.
All right, you brought those names up. All newborns. That's what we call rookies. Newborns. And you know, newborns, they'll eat as much as they want to, but they'll have to throw up every once in a while. Like when they had to give it back to you, what you giving to them. All right, look at the guys that you talked about. Bryce Young, lost. Anthony Richards, lost. C.J. Stroud, lost.
Yep.
I got one.
Got a dub.
Like, at the end of the day, I understand it, with him being 8 quarters old, it's going to take him some time. It's going to be a year of up and downs. But at one game, it's going to be a game. I don't know if it's going to be the 10th game, the 12th game, the 14th game. It's all going to slow down for him. And then we get to see the real him start to, start to maturate and get better. All right, but he showed us yesterday, I can take a lick in the face because, listen.
He took some licks.
Kazir White tried to kill him, the referee. Listen.
Early on, by the way, the Cards were just taking headshots.
Yes, they had came out and said, you know what? Everybody gonna count us out. We're gonna bring pain. Right. We're gonna bring pain. So he showed me he could take a lick and get back and keep on ticking. He finished the game. He also showed me adversity doesn't bother me. He has this middle zen. He ain't too high when he balling. He ain't too low when he ain't doing well. But he showed me I'm a gamer. That pass he threw for a touchdown, that's very Patrick Mahomes right there. And him running and taking it into his own hands and scoring a touchdown. Think about it. If you give me the stats you gave me yesterday, that means you're going to score 2 touchdowns. One might be running, one might be passing. You're going to turn it over. At the end of the season, what you going to have? 34 touchdowns and 17 picks? I will take that.
Yes.
I would, because Jalen Hurts almost won MVP last year. He scored 35 touchdowns. I understand where he's at and where he's going to be after this.
That's a good point. And Jalen Hurts is a good example. Different quarterbacks. But,
most definitely different.
But also the narrative was, is this guy going to be the guy or not? You just don't. And now, look, one of the best in the game.
Hey, listen, got a big contract, took him to the Super Bowl. That's what you got to say. What are we building towards? Right. And with Sam Howell, we're building towards something great. Like, I think he has the ability, and I think he has the mental capacity to be a great quarterback in this league.
Again, we will get to the celebs, all the pregame festivities, the sellout crowd, but I did want to ask, what does it mean when you have all of this buildup, when you have standing room only, and even though it was dicey, you still get the win?
Oh, well, you know what? I think the fans came in there with their mental, like it's just finna be our day.
Right.
But, you know, the rain came. So we had to all reset our train of thought. And I think they were so high, and they started booing for a while because they're like, oh, this can't be 10-16, not with the Cardinals. At the end of the day, I think the expectation was so high.
Yes.
We let them down in the beginning, but that's what sports is about. It's the longest running reality show of all time. And with reality, it's going to be some ups and downs. And that's what we love about it, being emotionally attached to this game.
Yep.
Sometimes we're going to laugh, sometimes we're going to cry, but at the end of it, we're going to do it together at 70,000 strong, and that's the difference. And we know this. The Arizona Cardinals fans don't travel. Right. I don't even know if Arizona got fans, but I know this. Washington showed up yesterday.
They certainly did. You know who else showed up over the weekend?
Yeah, tell me, Jay.
Texas Longhorns showed up over the weekend.
I knew we were going to have to go here.
The Texas Longhorns showed up. Tell me if I'm wrong. They were the better team on the field in Tuscaloosa. They were the better team.
You are right. You are right from the onset. Now, I said this. Urs at your quarterback. I said he's better than the quarterback for Alabama. I didn't know y'all defense was that. I did not know y'all defense was that. And y'all proved that we were ready for the SEC. Because y'all coming next year, we're ready for the SEC. But get ready for 8-4 a lot. Like, that's what y'all going to be. Get ready for 8-4 a lot. And y'all just won't let Texas A&M make it with it. When Texas A&M won up y'all by coming to the SEC, and y'all like, you know what? We're going to come to. Like, that's what y'all do to Texas A&M at all times.
We always say, hey. No.
Y'all don't get him no love. Y'all don't get him no love.
None at all. So, we're going to give love to everyone. We'll get to Colorado in a second for Anna.
Yeah, we will.
Mississippi State, you guys are 2-0.
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, we had to go stop all this Pac-10 bleeding, all right? Because we couldn't beat the Pac-10, the SEC. Yeah. Like, every day had beat all us until the Mississippi State Bulldogs go out there to Arizona and teach them a lesson. All right, so at the end of the day, Mississippi State, we're going to be right there. And every year we'll lose that one game to Arkansas and then maybe to Alabama. I don't see them doing that this year. I see them being a steady team because we don't have that one side of the ball that sticks out like they usually do. Now we just got even keel. We got a quarterback. Usually that's where we lacking at. We got a quarterback. We got everything it takes right now to be great. Now, they're going to take that next step?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's going to happen this weekend? Don't you guys play LSU?
Oh, yes, we do. I'm going to the game.
Oh, you going?
Okay. Fred Smoot will be on the sideline. I'm taking my son down there to the game. Let him get this SEC in his blood. A good Saturday morning. Ain't nothing like waking up a good Saturday in the SEC, down south. Like, listen, when I wake up, I'm going to take a deep breath like, yeah, I could maybe get out and give me a couple plays, but I can't wait to go to Stark Vegas and see the dog pound rocking in there and just watch my son face as because he's getting ready to take it on. He's a 12th grader, so next year he'll be in college.
Oh.
So I really want to give him that experience of what it feels like to be a Mississippi State Bulldog. So I'm going to take him down there Friday, let him go around campus, let him do all the stuff, let him see the big old stuff of his daddy in there, you know what I'm saying, the shoes he got to feel. And then we're going to go watch them take on LSU, which – they just not the same LSU.
No.
I am sorry. You got the wrong coach. All right, it happens. If you got to come down here and fake a Southern accent, you probably shouldn't be here. All right, that's just what it is.
Did you see the press conference where after that loss to Florida State, they asked him, someone in the press said, do you think you should have been more creative on offense? And he goes, I'm not going to talk about being more creative on offense, more creative on defense. And then 5 minutes later, randomly, he goes, I think we should have been more creative on offense. I'm like, what?
That's who he is. That's who he is. And now he's found himself in a high-pressure situation. Mm-hmm. All right, LSU don't take losing well. They do not take losing well. And they only going to, like, I have to ask yourself, like, think about it. Mm-hmm. You got him coaching. Then you got a guy like Deion Sanders at Colorado. Who walks in your living room and leaves with your child?
Not Brian Kelly.
Deion Sanders. I'm sorry. So that's what Kelly's going to run a problem to in the South is he's not going to be able to recruit. Now, he got LSU backing him, and you got the Tiger, you got all the aura of it. But I'm sorry, that ain't enough. And I think Alabama's seeing that right now. Mm-hmm. It ain't enough, Nick Saban. Nick Saban don't like the NIL. Nick Saban don't like the transfer portal. Nick Saban will be left behind. That's what happens to old relics. And right now, him and Dabo Swinney are on their way out. I'm sorry.
I'm rooting for your Dogs this weekend. I walked in this morning, and everyone's got a smile on their face because the Commanders won, Anna's Buffaloes won, your Dogs won, my Horns won.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about Coach Prime because I have to admit, I've been late to the party here. I kept saying, like, all right, it's one game. Yeah. I kind of like the Huskers this weekend because I like Matt Rule, but Colorado, incredible atmosphere, and the star power. Michael Irvin was losing it on the sideline.
First of all,
Shannon Sharp was there, I think?
Shannon Sharp. You got Stephen A. Smith. You got Wu-Tang, which I think it was like 33 of them. It was like rappers galore. It's like that's what he does. He brings entertainment to a campus. And what you're losing sight of, Shador was a 4-star quarterback.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter was the #1 player in the nation when he came out. 5-star player. He got players. All right. So at the end of the day, he might not have as much depth if he wanted and he needed, but he can compete with anybody. Right now, Shador might be leading for all Heisman.
Yep.
And Travis Hunter's up for the Heisman. So that's telling you, yes, we got players and we got swag. I don't think people understand how much that is a part of who you are as an athlete.
Yeah.
That swag. And right now, Colorado got a nation behind them. Not just a state, not a city. They got a nation behind them, and Prime is laying that blueprint out on how to get stuff done. And I love it because it's going to propel a lot of ex-football players into coaching where they should have been anyway. You've been doing it your whole life. Why not teach it? So at the end of the day, he's changing the landscape of college football right now as we speak. We're watching history.
I want to talk about someone else who had a great weekend.
Yeah.
And we're talking about these young players. Coco Gauff.
Yes.
Fourth teenager to win the U.S. Open from America. First since Serena did it in like 1999. And I have to say, I was in a bar getting ready for the Texas game. Yeah. But before it came on, we were watching it in the U.S. Open.
Did you see the energy in it?
Oh, my God. Everybody in the bar was going, USA, USA.
It was crazy. It's galvanizing. And did you see the video clip, the viral clip of young Coco at 12 years old at Serena's match, watching her win while she cheered? That's what you want, and that's what tennis give you. Tennis is one of the rare sports that you can go pro at 14, 15 years old. So she's one of them. She has dealt with a lot of ups and downs, and I see now why she went through that mental battle she went through. Imagine being 16, Jinx.
Oh, my God.
And have to represent a whole nation. And we know winning and losing takes its toll on you, but we don't think about it because I was a sore loser in high school.
She's a baby.
She's a baby. Going through this stuff and coming out on top, I praise her for that. And it's just, and then here goes the scary thing. She just getting started.
Oh, yeah.
That's the scary thing. That puts the world on notice. She's just getting started, and she's galvanizing. She's bringing people together. Like you said, USA. That's all I heard. Like, I was like, I was flabbergasted of the energy and the people there. I don't even know how KD got to the Open and then made it to FedEx Field the next day. Well, that's what happened when you got a PJ. That's what happens right there, Jinx.
My favorite part of that whole thing was, A, it was incredible, but I have to admit, I got pretty emotional watching her go chase down her parents and then hugging them. And I was like, man, that's really special.
That's what sports does.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's the longest running reality show. I say it all the time. Like, people don't understand who got your corner when you don't have that game. Like, Fred Smoot go get burnt for 200 yards. My mama still love me. All right?
Yeah.
She can care less about all the stuff going on. And that's what Coco said. She's like, win, lose, or draw, my parents still love me. And I think that's very important.
So, guys in the NFL, you experience this too. When you have so much success and you come into money and you come into fame, no matter what sport you play, and you're young.
Yeah.
Because I always thought, for me, I was like, I'm mature for my age, but even now I look back, I'm like, you were an idiot.
Yeah,
you know
I totally was an idiot.
I'm like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
So how difficult is that to manage all of those different things at once, no matter the sport?
It's hard, but I think sports get you ready for it because it's hard.
Yeah.
Like, right when you think you didn't perfected it, it shows you haven't. It's one of them things that be taken away very quickly. But I think what most athletes do a good job of is making sure they separate the sport from the person. All right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the person still has family that they want to take care of.
Yeah.
The person still got people they love. They still have to date and do other regular stuff. Like, it's one of them things where you consume it all, but you make sure that it's never too big for you. That's why I had to praise her at, age 19?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you could go back,
Yeah.
Fred Smoot now, if you could tell young Fred Smoot something, one piece of advice, this is me playing therapist here.
Yes.
What would you tell yourself?
Wow, that's a great question, Jinx. I would probably tell young Fred, just go see the world, have no true attachments, play your sport, retire, leave 3 or 4 years for you, and then start the normacy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we don't do. We don't give ourselves a chance to air out.
Sure.
Like, we usually go from one career to another career and just keep going. But I would have said, take a little time for yourself. Yeah. Go live in China, India, wherever you want to go, South America, and just air out for a little bit. Let your body and your soul rest, and then chase the talking career, and then go chase the other stuff you want to do. But, yeah, that's what I say. Take some Fred Smoot time for you, Fred.
Because I like that you said Fred to Fred.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm just saying, take some time for yourself.
But, that's kind of like it is in life for everyone, where you assume that you're supposed to be on a path, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to graduate. Then when I graduate,
I'm going to get a job.
I'm going to get a job. Then when I get a job,
I'm going to have kids.
I'm going to get married. I'm going to have kids.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. And then you realize that's all well and fine, but I don't have to do that.
And I don't, like, that's the American way to do things, but everybody got a different path. Everybody got a different path. So you got to embrace your path. So, if I could jump in the time machine and go slap Fred, I'll be like, look here, man. Nigga, listen to me right now. Listen to me. Chill out.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself. But take some you time.
Well, no matter where you are in the world, I know that you like karaoke.
I love it.
And you love bowling.
I'm going pro again, Jinx.
You were pro once?
In football.
Oh, professional.
Did you forget it? I'm going pro
for a second.
Again.
It's early on a Monday. I was like, yeah, he was a pro.
Yeah, I used to play football. By the way, I'm going pro in PBA. I think it's time. I'm a two-sport guy. I'm very good at bowling.
Okay, let me stop you right there because Doc Walker says, now I've heard this before, but Doc Walker says he's never seen you bowl.
And that's because Doc don't hang at bowling alleys. That's Doc's fault. But the DMV knows. The DMV, I've taken on Southern Maryland, Northern Virginia, D.C., beat them all. It's nobody in the DMV that can beat me bowling. Since I've been here, I've bowled 9 or 11 perfect game 300.
Have you really?
Oh, yes, sir. And my weapons of mass destruction, my balls. All right, listen to me. If you're a skilled bowler, it's a couple things you know. I got to have the right balls for the right oil patterns for the wood that I'm attempting. It's like, when I go bowling, I'm not going against you, Jinx.
Because you have your own bowling balls.
I got 7 of them.
7?
7 of them. All right. And I love to use Hercules. He's one of my best ballers.
Oh, do you name them all?
Why not? What you mean? I got the Cobra Commander in there. I got all kinds of people in there. All right, listen to me.
Cobra Commander.
Oh, listen. Listen, and that's why I go by my nickname, Big Aaron McCracken. You know, that's 10-pin one of my favorite movies. And that's why anytime you see me bowling, it'll never say Fred Smoot. It just say Big Aaron McCracken up there. That's me. All right?
Okay.
That's who I am. But it's you against the oil patterns. And this is what people don't understand. Because we roll with the spin,
Okay.
it pushes the oil.
Okay.
Right? When it starts to push the oil, you'll see me change balls. And now I'm going to go to one of my drier, more aggressive balls. And now I'm going to go find the oil. All right? So that's the thing about it. That's why they re-oil it after any time you bowl.
So if you go bowling, will you take multiple balls?
Yeah, I got a holder that it carries 4 balls. And then I bring my other ones, it carries 2. It depends on where I'm going in the competition. When I walk in, I look like I'm bringing in 7 kids with me. I'm walking with balls in my hand. Yeah, so you gotta have your balls, you gotta have your shoes, you gotta have the small things, even down to your towel. Like I only use dry fit certain towels to get all the dust off my balls and stuff. And you gotta take care of them balls. I take them to get them shined up, get them moisturize everything, man.
So how did you get good at that? Because I'll bowl. I'm like most bowlers. Sometimes I suck. Sometimes I'm like, I did pretty well. But I'm a recreational bowler.
Yeah.
You got to bowl a lot to be good.
Well, high school it started. Everybody bowled in high school.
Yeah.
But I'm also a competitor.
Okay.
All right. So once you get to doing the sport, you're doing it. And any sport that I can drink beer and get better at, you know, golf is like that.
Yep.
Bowling is like that. I'm going to take it very serious. And then I just got hooked on it. And by the time I made it to college, I'm full-fledged. Every week, the bowling alley know I'm coming in 3 days a week. Yeah. Like when I go bowling, it's usually like 3 o'clock in the evening. So it'd be me and 3 people, grannies and granddaddies in there. Yeah. And I'm talking trash to them too. Oh, listen, I done kicked grannies and grandmamas, but all up and down the bowling alley. At the end of the day, I love bowling. And it's something that I can do with my family. Yeah. I love it. Me and my kids love it. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So do you bowl like most people do, or do you do that thing where you cradle it and spin it?
No, you don't cradle it. Your arm needs to be straight. Okay. Yet I spin. Like, think about it. The earth is a ball. It spins. Yes. The only way that you could tell that sphere where to go is to spin it with a certain velocity. Like people that just toss it. Yeah. It ain't called tossing. It's called bowling.
That's true.
All right, so you can only control the ball with the spin.
Okay.
Yeah. So the spin is very important for you to tell it where to go, how to go, and how fast to go.
If you wanted to be a pro, when you become a pro again.
Yes, I am.
How much work would it take for you to actually do that?
All I need to do is consistently keep doing it. Like the one thing about bowling, when you stop doing it, you lose sight of you lose your edge. Yeah. Like right now, if the PBA called me right now and say, hey, we want you to play in a tournament in 3 weeks, I would literally bowl every day until that day.
Would you?
Every day until that day. Like every day until that day. And I take it upon myself to not just bowl at the bowling alleys around my house. Yeah. I would go to other bowling alleys because I need to go to other woods and adjust to them. So then I would do that. So, yeah, I could be ready in no time.
Can I tell you my favorite Doc Walker story?
Please
so you're talking
do.
about Doc.
Please do.
Okay, so you've known Doc for a long time.
100 years because he's like 90.
When I was working at NBC, I'm putting my makeup on, right? Yeah. Whatever. And Doc walks in, he goes, my man Jenkins gives me a hug. He goes, what we're doing now, me and you, people are going to be talking about 5 or 6 years from now. Yeah. All right? I was like, I got you, Doc. He goes, let me tell you something. He goes, you got the cigar?
Yeah, oh, most definitely.
Yes. He goes, people have been asking me lately, Doc, have you lost weight? Doc, have you lost weight?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I lost some weight.
Yeah.
But I haven't.
That's so Doc.
He goes, keep him guessing.
Listen, he is such.
He just smiles, takes a puff of his cigar, chews on it, walks off. I was like, thanks, Doc.
And he will talk about himself in the third person all the time. Hey, what's going on, Doc? Yeah, Doc don't let them bother him. That's what Doc don't do. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, that's who he is. That's why I love him to death.
Yeah, Doc left my mind in a pretzel. I was like, keep him guessing.
And that was so deep.
And, hey.
You felt thought-provoking right there. Like, why did I go to Texas?
Right.
I should have just been with Doc.
Just let him teach me life lessons the entire time. I love Doc, man. That's my favorite. Okay, so let's move ahead to this weekend coming up.
Yeah.
All right. We got Denver on the road.
Yeah.
Mile High City.
Oh.
How difficult is it to prepare for that sort of environment? I have not I've been to Denver.
Yeah.
It's a lot different when you're competing at a high level.
Yeah.
How much does it affect you?
It affects you a lot.
Yeah.
Like, people don't understand what a mile high is. They mean mile high in the stadium.
Yeah.
Mile high in the stadium. That's high altitude. That's so high altitude, and we're mostly from the South.
Yeah.
We're by the water. We're like 0 altitude. It dehydrates you so quick. I don't care how much water you did. Your body needs 24 hours to 48 hours to acclimate to it. Think about this. If I'm a mile high in the air is thinner.
Yeah.
If the air is thinner, it's making my heart work harder.
Yeah.
It's making my blood thinner.
Yeah.
I need time to adjust to it. Like, I played a game there, and the weather was so the sun was shining in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It rained in the second. It snowed in the third, and the sun came back out in the fourth quarter. Like, it's very unpredictable weather-wise.
Oh, my God.
And you also, like I said, and that's why a lot of pro athletes train in Denver. They train in Colorado. So we can take our body through that stress. And when we do come back down to the elevation, we're fine. We're fine. So it's one of them things that they really have an advantage when it comes to location. Hey, even watch the basketball when the Denver Nuggets won.
Yeah.
The team was going there getting tired. No matter if you inside or outside.
It's a real factor.
It's a real factor, and it's a real advantage too.
So how much of that is mental? Because certainly it takes a physical toll on your body, but it's almost like if you're short of breath and you're an anxious person in a way, you can start to have an anxiety attack.
Oh, easily.
And then that just makes everything worse. You need to be like, hey, take a few deep breaths here.
Hey, you got to take a couple deep breaths. And my homeboy, Ryan Clark, he could never play there. So anytime, because I don't know if it was because his appendix had been removed or something, but it was dangerous for him to play in Denver. So he never dressed in Denver. He just sat on the sideline. Like, that's how lethal it is. Like, it's you against Mother Nature. That's what it is. That's why I'm hoping the team goes out there 48 hours before to get a player some time to just walk around, like, get acclimated.
And sometimes you'll see teams do that. They'll go out there a day or two early just to say, let yourself adjust.
Yes, let yourself adjust. Let your heart and let your oxygen level adjust. That's what has to adjust.
One thing we always see in the NFL is it's easy to completely freak out over 1 week. It is.
Everybody does.
It's week one.
Everybody that won think they're going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Everybody that lost ready to draft Caleb Williams. That's the panic of it. But that's what makes football so unique. Every quarter, every game counts. And that's what makes it. That's why got people hooked to the TV.
Yeah.
I want to see every play, but I'm never going to get too high or too low on week one, man.
I say that because what do you want to see improvement-wise in week two? Because there's lots of things to improve upon for everybody.
Well, I'm not going to do what everybody else going to do. I'm not going paralysis by over-analysis.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that to myself.
Right.
What I do want is progression with Sam Howell. I just want to see him get better week in and week out. Like I said, he's a newborn. I want to see him get better week in and week out. I want to see that offensive line hold up a little bit better. I know it's going to take them time to gel. They need to work together. But eventually, they're going to have to come together, and they're going to have to stick through this thing together. Defense, I want them to go out there and really, what they did in the second half, dictate a game, be the reason we won. Now, you ain't going to be the Baltimore Ravens of 2001.
Right.
But I want you to be similar, because I think you got the players to get that done. So I want to see them go out here to Denver and treat Denver like they are. I think Denver they don't want to say they're rebuilding.
Yeah.
But it's some uncertainties there.
Yeah.
They don't seem to like Sean Payton and the politician Russell Wilson don't seem to be on the same. But you know how you see a relationship and you're like, they days are numbered.
They
like,
don't, yeah.
You know, like, some is just not.
It's like they're together, but not for long.
But not together.
Right.
But he cheating. Like, somebody cheating.
So, Russ, how can I put this kindly?
Yeah.
Are his best days
behind
him?
You know, I got these little things that I do. I study players and I study some things, and I have watched this happen with running quarterbacks. They run their way to big contracts, and then they want to become pocket passers.
That's not his game.
I watched Donovan McNabb do it. I watched skinny Dak Prescott leave Mississippi State, run to a big contract, and he runs no more. I watched Russell go win a Super Bowl running. He runs no more. What made you special? You don't like to do it anymore. And they seen the game odd 15, 20 pounds that don't allow him to run anymore.
Yep.
So I think it's identity crisis. I think Russell think he's old Russ, and he's not. The new politician Russ ain't as good as the other Russ. And that's why I say sometimes you got to lean on what got you there. And I think sometimes with quarterbacks, they want to change the narrative.
Yeah.
Like anytime they say I'm a running quarterback, I don't want to be no running quarterback. I want to be Joe Montana. You're not.
Right.
All right, do what got you there and what makes you special.
We know that Washington fans
Yeah.
are jacked. We saw it in season opener. They're going to be jacked for week 2. But I did want to ask you about the atmosphere.
Yes.
Before week 1, I mean, the stadium was packed. It was standing room only. It was unbelievable.
It was crazy.
We're going to talk about that. Stay with me. Listen, 60 seconds.
Yes.
Take a bathroom break. Get yourself some water. Just do it quick. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about that on Get Loud, presented by SeatGeek. We have some breaking news that you Commanders fans are going to want to hear. It is official. SeatGeek is now the official ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. That's right. The deal is finalized, and SeatGeek is the newest member of the Commanders family. If you haven't heard the name yet, get used to it because you'll be hearing it a lot more this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Commanders games or to any other event in the DMV, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek, the new official ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders, so Commanders fans can fan. See how quick that was?
Yes.
Nice and easy.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Abracadabra.
It's a Get Loud podcast presented by SeatGeek. That's smooth. I'm Jinx. So, I mean, it was a who's who.
Star-studded.
Oh, my God.
Yes, it was.
Riggo was there.
I think I seen the Queen of England in there. Listen, it was crazy. Like, first of all, the whole fan base, everybody happy to welcome back John Riggins, icon of this franchise. Great to see him. Great to see Sonny Jurgensen with the cigar in mouth.
Of course.
Great to see Pierre Garçon. I was like, so many dudes. My boy Champ Bailey, my first running mate in the league. Love to see him. We still spend a lot of time together. So, I think Joel Embiid was in there.
KD was there.
KD was in there. I like, how did he make it from the U.S.
He
Open?
did.
PJs.
Alex Ovechkin was there.
Hey, I want to start speaking Russian, because I'm trying to communicate with it. It was like, and just that support that shows everything. That shows we was a sleeping giant.
Yeah,
people wanted to, they just didn't.
Yeah,
but now it changes, and it felt like such a high school college atmosphere where it was just good energy. Good chi in there, and it's nothing like having it's been times where we had a packed house.
Oh yeah,
but we didn't have a packed house like that. And that's what I think the players deserved. I thought Terry McLaurin deserved it. John Allen deserved it, to know how it really feels to be a Washington football player.
And I'm glad you mentioned those guys because they were the ones who were very outspoken after the game saying, man,
it was crazy.
This was awesome.
And don't forget your boy that was there, Bobby Three Sticks, RG3.
Oh, my God. My guy.
Yeah, most definitely. Everybody came out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with it, man. I'm with it.
Well, doesn't that just speak to the fact that everyone here, when I say everyone, I mean former players, fans, people who are celebs who love this team. They've been waiting for this new era for a long time.
But you know what? You get what you wait for. And we waited for it. And now that it's here, we're in the presence. And we're going to have to pack that house again. All right? So at the end of the day, it's repeat. Rinse, repeat, do it again. Like, this has to be the norm. Because when I was here, it was the norm. Like, I ain't never played in front of an empty FedEx Field.
Is that right?
I never had the privilege of doing that. Every time I played in FedEx Field, it was to capacity, and we used to hold 90,000 at that time. So, like I said, we have awakened a sleeping giant.
Yeah. So, I know you weren't playing, but when you say you're standing there, it feels like you can still get out there, and you hear that roar for the first time in a while. What did you think?
Well, first of all, I did get my honorary smooth.
There you go.
I got that again. Right? Because I took out a veteran out there, handed him the game ball, and of course the fans seeing it was me, they went smooth, and I could feel that ground rattling a little bit. And that's when I was like, damn, where my cleats at, Jinx? I was looking for my cleats, then I went to my car and realized I had the Walter Payton Kangaroos in there. They 73 years old. Let me know I can't never play again.
When I walk out on the field, you know I hear? I listen real close, and there's one guy going, Jinx! Jinx!
Ain't that Michael Jinx?
Hey, man. And he goes, say hi to Smooth. Will do. I'll do it.
Hey, I understand. Don't worry. You are the man.
That's going to do it for the Get Loud podcast. Fred Smoot, Michael Jenkins, presented by SeatGeek. Let's get a win this weekend.
See you in Denver.